speaking of Mars, there's a director who made a film called Ghosts of Mars, which is not good. But he made other movies too. How many John Carpenter films can you name, Tyler?
Ooh,
putting you on the spot.
That's not good.
First, I'll give you 1 second. We are drinking a delicious beer from 1840. We Go Together Like.
Which one?
It's a fruited sour, peanut butter and jelly pastry sour with peanuts, Concord grape, and milk sugar.
This is by far one of my all-time favorite beers. Like when I'm listing favorite beers, this is usually in the top 3.
Top 5, easy for me. It's my favorite sour beer, my favorite
by
pastry
far.
beer.
When you, it's so nutty when you smell it.
Oh my God.
I love that with I like peanut butter like beers in general.
Yeah.
But when you get a sour and you get that nutty peanut butter flavor in there,
it's insane. First time I heard of a pastry sour, I'm like, that doesn't work. You either have a sour beer or like a sweet dark beer. And yeah, this just hits it.
I have a friend who used to brew for 1840. And the day after I drank this beer, I was like, that is one of my favorite beers. And he's like, that's my beer. I've brewed that beer.
And then you said, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Today, I thought this would be an appropriate beer because we go together and the thing goes together with people.
Yes.
I'll reach anywhere. Like, I'll make some fucking mental gymnastics to drink this beer.
I think you stuck the landing.
Yes. Okay, so
my tooth.
We got Ghosts of Mars.
Halloween.
Okay.
Halloween 2.
No. Escape from New York.
Oh, that's right. I get him confused with Wes Craven all too often.
Escape from L.A. Big Trouble in Little China. Vampires?
Didn't he do that?
He did a couple other ones.
What's the one with the sunglasses? They Live?
I think that's him. We're talking about The Thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to just ramble too long. But The Thing is, like this beer is my top 5 beers. The Thing is in my top 5. I want to say top 5, at least top 10 films of all time.
It would probably make my top 10 as well.
What are you going to say about The Thing? It's one of those movies that if you're into it, you love it. Like there's no middle ground. If you like this movie, it's absolute love. Such a great concept. Let's get into it. I mean, I can't even explain how much I love this film. John Carpenter, born 1948, Carthage, New York. Before starting high school, used to make short horror films with an 8mm camera. Age of 14, he made a few major short films: Godzilla vs. Gorgo, done with claymation.
Damn.
And Terror from Space. Went to Kentucky University for 2 years as an English major, history minor. Moved to California, transferred to the School of Cinematic Arts in '68. Dropout final semester. Mad props, bro.
Yeah.
First major film was a science fiction comedy called Dark Star in 1974. Which sounds interesting. Assault on Precinct 13, 1976.
I've seen that.
Halloween, 1978.
Everybody's seen that.
I put a note on whether it is about sexual purity and dangers of casual sex, which everyone likes to say. It's about killing people who are promiscuous teenagers.
It is a common theme and brought up in Wes Craven's first Scream movie. That is one of the tropes that they follow. For that
I think it's
movie.
happenstance. At least for Halloween it was.
Yeah.
He says, it has been suggested I was making some kind of moral statement. Believe me, I'm not. In Halloween, I just thought they were kids, just teenagers. Sometimes they have sex.
Yeah, I don't think it goes beyond he once looked at William Shatner's face and was like, damn, that's spooky.
Dude, get rid of those eyebrows. I'm terrified.
Yes.
He made a film called Elvis in '76, starring Kurt Russell. He made The Fog in 1980, Escape from New York in 1981, which was successful. And, the Halloween was the big success, and then that's how he was given all these other movies to make, including The Thing. And he also made Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, Ghosts of Mars, The Ward was his last film. I think that was like 2012. I don't even remember it if I saw it.
That's weird because that's your name.
I know. I am. This film is based on Who Goes There? 1938 science fiction horror written by John Campbell.
I was way off.
For the original book?
I thought it was based off of the popular hit video game Among Us.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's essentially the same concept.
It is essentially the same concept. I mean, it's about paranoia. It's about mistrust. It's about the Cold War. It's about not trusting your friends. Who are you, Tyler?
I'm totally me. You want to do the blood sample?
We're doing the blood sample again.
Yeah.
We do this every episode. It was first published in August 38 in a magazine. It was adapted into a feature film in 1951, The Thing from Another World, produced by Howard Hawks. And the thing in that movie is one humanoid invader, like humanoid alien. It doesn't change at all. It's fun. I don't know. I've heard it's good, but I also, man, it's tough to compare to The Thing. There was a second adaptation in 1972 called The Horror Express.
That sounds like a dope-ass sequel to The Polar Express.
Dude.
The kids didn't get off the train.
There's a bear on the caboose.
Oh, God.
This is starring Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Christopher Lee.
And Peter Cushing, Grand Moff Tarkin, on a Trans-Siberian railway. And the creature can jump from person to person and absorb memories. That sounds pretty cool.
That's like The Thing meets like Snowpiercer.
The Horror Express.
I would watch that.
All aboard for terror.
If that's not the tagline, dude, you're a marketing genius.
You can hire me if you want. Development began for The Thing in the mid-'70s when David Foster and producer Lawrence Terman suggested to Universal Pictures an adaptation of the novella. Who Goes There follows more closely the book. 1976, Wilbur Clark purchases the remake rights to 23 RKO pictures, including The Thing from Another World, from 3 Wall Street financiers. You don't need the rights, Wall Street. Carpenter was approached in 76 by co-producer and friend Stuart Cohen, but he was mainly an indie film director, so Universal chose Texas Chainsaw director Tobe Hooper instead.
Okay.
That could have been a very cool, different film.
Yep. I like they definitely had a direction they wanted in mind.
Texas Chainsaw is one of my favorite horror films, too, the original. It's fucking gritty.
The Texas Chainsaw, the remake, do you know how they
Jessica Biel?
Yeah, do you know how they pitched that idea?
Jessica Biel in a tank top.
Do you know how they also pitched that movie? I learned this in film school because I got to listen to it. They didn't shoot any footage. They just recorded
the chainsaw,
a girl scared in a closet, and footsteps, and then the chainsaw. And it was just the sound. And it was very scary. And they were like, that's our pitch.
It's the opposite of a cat purring when you hear a chainsaw, but it's a similar sound.
I think, yeah, that's 2 ends of the spectrum right there.
Yep.
Yeah. One is very calming and sweet, and one makes me want to run for my life.
I mean, it's a classic horror thing. You're in a closet and you hear like the alien sound,
like the predator sound?
Or the predator sound. What's the alien? They make a sound. Everything makes a sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Producers were unhappy with Tobe Hooper's concept, however, so other pitches were made by different writers such as John Landis. The project put on hold. Following the success of Alien and Carpenter's success with Halloween, he became loosely attached. He was hesitant to join the project because he loved the Howard Hawks film. And he said the monster wasn't that good, though. He nearly quit when El Diablo was almost greenlit, a passion project of his. The writing started with Bill Lancaster. He wrote 4 screenplays in his life. Bad News Bears, Bad News Bears 2, The Thing, and Firestarter. I don't know how he made like 2 of the greatest films. I love Bad News Bears as well. Lancaster conceived several key scenes in the film, including the Norris Thing biting Dr. Copper and the use of blood tests to identify the Thing, which Carpenter cited as the reason he wanted to work on the film. He thought he could do a cool thing with that scene. Several characters were modernized for contemporary audiences. MacReady, originally a meteorologist, became a tough loner, described in the script as 35, helicopter pilot, likes chess, hates the cold. The pay is good.
Oh, man. That is... And you got Kurt Russell to play him, so like that's just a slam dunk of casting and character development because Mac really makes the movie for me. Especially, I'm a big Kurt Russell fan because my mom was a big Kurt Russell fan. So growing up, I watched a lot of Kurt Russell movies, and I always thought he was the coolest motherfucker on TV.
He has to put zero effort into being the coolest dude in the room.
And I firmly believe that if you're looking for peak male performance, you look no further than Mac.
When he puts on that stupid sombrero and those big sunglasses, it shouldn't work. But I mean, immediately he's like the coolest dude I've ever seen.
I know. And you know the story behind the hat, right?
What is the story?
So Kurt Russell goes into wardrobe and he's looking at like what clothes he's going to wear for the film. And he sees this big, stupid sombrero. And he's like, what is this? I'm not wearing this. What is this? What is this big dumb sombrero? And the makeup and wardrobe department's like, that's your hat. And he's like, I'm not wearing that hat. And he's like, yeah. They're like, yeah, you're wearing the hat because John Carpenter's already shot like B-roll with it. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, he's already done screen tests and everything. Like they did some helicopter shots and they have you wearing the hat in it. So that's your hat. And he wore the hat against his will.
The big like pushed up brim on the front.
It is a square hat.
It should be silly. He still commands the presence of everything in the room. He's not the leader of the group either.
No.
We'll go through the list of the people here, but he's just the pilot. Kurt Russell was the last to join the film. I think he probably got the biggest pay cut too, but the role was offered to a few other people. Like Jeff Bridges was one that was considered. I don't think you can do better than Kurt Russell, though.
No. And him and John Carpenter have such chemistry together. I mean, Big Trouble in Little China, both of the Escape movies, like those two guys work well together.
Yeah.
So I think it's a natural fit.
And when they did the prequel, they needed two people to fill the roles of Mac, and they still failed.
Yeah.
They had Joel Edgerton and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. They like split Mac into two characters, and they're not even close to as cool as one Kurt Russell.
No, and you're right. He's not the leader of the group.
He gets immediately, though, when shit goes wrong, they're like, Mac, you're in charge. Everybody's just like, well, after Childs goes, I'll do it. And they're like, back off, motherfucker.
Yeah, I think we need a more level head.
Yeah,
but it
dude,
makes,
Keith David is a fucking awesome dude, too.
It makes sense, though, because with how remote their research facility is in Antarctica, like, he is the most important character maybe to the group because he's the pilot. Like, outside of the doctor, it's him and the doc. Like, those are the two guys that, like, we can't let anything happen to these two because then we're kind of royally fucked. So, yeah, I always kind of viewed him as the leader, but then once you watch the film a couple times, he's definitely not. He's a drunk.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's a background story they don't really dive into too much, but he is a Vietnam veteran. He says at one point, he's like, I don't sleep too well.
I'm a real light sleeper, child.
I'm a real light sleeper. Oh, shit. And if there's anybody, though, that could go toe-to-toe with Kurt Russell, it's Keith David. Famously, he broke his hand the day before filming, so there's actually, you don't see his hand in a lot of shots. Keith David, I've seen him in many movies, but two roles stick out to me.
Armageddon.
Is he in Armageddon?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like one of the lead military guys.
To me, it is the guy from Requiem for a Dream that brings Jennifer Connelly over to the sex parties.
Yeah.
And then he's the Arbiter from Halo.
Yep.
And that's all I can think of him as. But we have Wilford Brimley as Blair.
Yeah.
Diabetes.
No way.
Yeah. He looks really old in this movie, but he's probably like our age.
Dude, people aged hard in the 70s and 80s.
The scene where he's destroying the equipment, and he's like, he does these like huge ramp ups. They're trying to turn it into us. Just fucking with an axe, going to town. Love Wilford Brimley. We got T.K. Carter as Knowles the cook, rollerblading around, playing his music as loud as he wants to. Fuck you. He's cool. David Clennon as Palmer, assistant mechanic. Richard Dysart as Dr. Copper, the physician. Charles Hallahan as Norris, the geologist. They all have roles. They don't really, a lot of them you don't get to see much on. Peter Maloney as Bennings, the meteorologist. Richard Masur as Clark, the dog handler. I guess in case you need sled dogs, that's got to be the reason, right?
Yeah, I always thought it was for sled dogs. They might also use them for like defense against whatever fucking animals are going to be around. It's Antarctica, so
there's
like,
not. There's yeah.
What lives on Antarctica?
I think
People
there's
think polar bears and shit.
penguins and bears and stuff.
But what are they doing down there? There's no food or anything.
Oh, life finds a way. Thomas waits as Windows, the radio operator, who's never gotten anyone on the radio. I've been trying for 2 weeks.
You're bad at your job, Windows.
It's your only job, dude. Just keep trying.
Dude, it bugs the shit out of me because he looks like an actor. And I looked him up last night when I rewatched it. And again, I'm like, this looks like that dude from every 90s movie that I saw. I cannot remember his name. Can't remember a single fucking movie that this guy's in, but I can picture him in my brain. It's not the same actor. They look a lot alike. If anybody can help me figure this out in the Discord, I would love you forever.
I was watching the prequel thing, 2011's thing, and something was bothering me about one of the characters. And I'm like, it's fucking Lloyd from the Dumb and Dumber prequel.
No shit.
Yep, Eric Christian Olsen. And I'm like, I'm having trouble taking you seriously right now, dude. You're doing fine. You kind of shot yourself in the foot.
You talking about the guy from Not Another Teen Movie, the blonde dude?
Yes. Yep. We have the only female in the entire film is the voice of the computer, voiced by Carpenter's then wife, Adrienne Barbeau. Cinematography by Dean Cundy. Now, let me just read Dean's filmography. And it's kind of crazy. Halloween, Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones.
Okay.
Escape from New York, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Hook, Jurassic Park, Flubber, The Parent Trap, What Women Want.
With Mel Gibson?
That's the one that got you.
Well, that's out of left field, man. I love that movie.
Garfield the Movie.
Garfield. No, I'm kidding.
2 episodes of Boba Fett and 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. This guy's been working forever.
This dude has no genre.
He's like, I'll film that fucking Parent Trap film. It's going to look beautiful.
Yeah, he also has...
You need 2 low hands? I got you, bro.
We also didn't talk about his wide, extensive filmography on for Brazzers.
Yeah. Oh.
He did a lot of work with it.
His zooms.
His zooms out of this world.
Tasteful zooms. Production began August 24th, 1981 in Juneau, Alaska.
All right, I knew you were going to have it, so I didn't look it up. But when I was talking to Justin yesterday, I'm like, I bet you they filmed this in Alaska. Where else is it going to be this fucking cold all the time?
And still hospitable enough.
Yeah, they either filmed this in Alaska or northern Wisconsin.
Filming lasted 12 weeks. They moved to the Universal lot. Exterior heats were 100 degrees, but inside the set was climate controlled to 28 degrees for all the interiors.
That's how you get a good movie, though. Quentin Tarantino did the same thing with Hateful Eight.
Which, we can talk about Tarantino. He loves The Thing. He cites The Thing all the time. And he always brings up Reservoir Dogs. He's like, what I was trying to capture when I was making his first feature film, Reservoir Dogs, he was that fear of mistrust. And to me, though, The Hateful Eight is his homage to The Thing in a big way.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Russell, ultimate badass. You're trapped in one location due to inclement weather, and no one trusts anyone. Plus, it has unused music from Ennio Morricone that he composed for The Thing.
Oh, really?
Yep. There's unused music. Carpenter flew to Rome to speak with him and convince him to take the job. By the time Morricone flew to Los Angeles to record the score, he had already developed a tape filled with an array of synthesizer music because he was unsure what type of score Carpenter wanted. Carpenter picked a piece closely resembling his own score. Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Which he chose the Morricone music that sounds most like his own, which is kind of funny. Morricone scored a lot of music for this movie, and Carpenter didn't use a ton. He kind of just took a few things that he liked, and Carpenter actually composed some of his own music for a few things as well, but that's a little more under wraps.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Carpenter, he still makes music. He's making music for like video games now.
What a madman.
He's the man. So the team considered building sets inside of refrigerators. Of course, none were big enough. They collected as many portable air conditioners as they could, closed off the stage, and used humidifiers and misters to add moisture to the air. Initially, had a budget of $11.4 million, and indirect costs brought it to $14 million. December 2nd, 1981, roughly 100 American and Canadian crew members moved to the area to begin filming. The sets had been built in Alaska during the summer atop a rocky area overlooking a glacier in preparation for snow to fall and cover them. I love that shit. Set design like a year in advance, half a year in advance, so you can let a little bit of the elements take hold. Like Lord of the Rings, they made Hobbiton like 3 years before they filmed, so it's fucking grown in.
Yeah. And that's like just before the really super dope CG era, like that's something that I think we sorely miss in a lot of films. Like I get that you can do a lot with CG. I mean, just look at what David Fincher does. 9 times out of 10, you're looking at CG and you have no idea because it's just so blended well into the film.
Fincher is the king of CG.
Yeah, he changes entire skylines and backgrounds of streets, and he adds buildings and takes them away.
It's a weird kind of filmmaker. He's like if George Lucas was good at what he was trying to accomplish. Yeah, we're gonna just put a big sky in the background and then a lizard.
Don't you think we should just film the big sky? No, let's do it in the middle of this alleyway.
And David,
I like the lighting.
But Fincher's like, we're doing this now, and then he's like, just make it nighttime and moonlit.
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons that Mindhunter won't get renewed is because Netflix doesn't want to shell out for it, and Fincher wants all creative control all the time.
He's doing another movie with Netflix, though. He's doing the Squid Game, an American version of Squid Game.
Really?
He's at least producing the show.
Stop it. I don't want to see that and do Mindhunter Season 3 or do a different film.
You know you're going to watch Squid Game.
I'm going to watch it and be angry.
You're going to love it.
I know.
It's like The Penguin. I tried to hate watch it, and it's the best show on TV right now. Outside of the sets in Alaska, the temperature was so low that the camera lenses would freeze and break. The crew had to leave the cameras in the freezing temperatures, so keeping them inside in the warmth resulted in foggy lenses that took hours to clear.
Dude, I have glasses. I know the struggle.
We know the pain. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Filming, greatly dependent on the weather, took 3 weeks to complete, with heavy snow making it impossible to film for some days. Fucking awesome. Rigging the explosive necessary to destroy the set in the film's finale required 8 hours. And to save money, they reused the Norwegian camp as the American camp. So they filmed all the American camp stuff, blew it up, and then came back and filmed it as a Norwegian camp from like different angles.
That's smart.
Wicked smart. Effects budget would run over, totaling $1.5 million, which it's all on screen. You're seeing every one of those dollars hard at work on screen.
Yep, and $3.5 million in camera lenses.
Yeah.
For unexpected cost.
It's like when you have a hot glass from washing it when you're like bartending, and you put a cold beer and it goes...
Yep.
Similar concept. Near the end of shooting, John Carpenter had to make a personal plea for $100,000 to complete a simplified version of the Blair Thing. Final cost, $12.4 million. Overhead cost brought it to about $15 million.
Oh, I thought you said he asked for $100,000 and then ended up spending $12 million on the Blair Thing. And they're like, what the fuck just happened?
Carpenter's a young dude at this point, too. He was like he's like 33 or something making this.
Yeah. Yeah, because it came out.
I can't imagine asking someone for that amount of money.
I have trouble asking people, like...
Can you Venmo me $20?
Can you give me $1 for a pull tab?
Yeah. I'm fine with that, actually.
I'm not splitting it with you, though.
Asking someone for the Venmo that they already agreed to, though, it's like a Midwest thing where I feel weird about it. Yeah, can you send me like $20?
I make my brother send me the request for the money so that I just have to hit one button and I don't have to like type everything in.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm like, if you want your money, I'll give it to you, but you send me a fucking request.
Now, something that's insane, most of the special effects for the film, this is one of the greatest special effects films of all time.
Yes.
Mostly designed by Rob Bottin, 21 years old at the time.
You need a fresh mind to come up with some really disgusting shit.
21 years old, and he worked himself into the hospital. He was like working such long hours and nonstop. He actually had to go to the hospital for exhaustion. But man, delivered one of the some of the greatest creature effects you'll ever see.
And I mean, they're dated at this point, but even still, they're amazing to look at in today's day and age with how spoiled we are with special effects. And I think they kind of live in a realm of their own because of the uncanny valley of the practical effects that are going on here. It creates this kind of nightmarish, almost claymation weird. I don't know how they did it, but it makes me feel uneasy feeling in my gut.
You can tell. You can tell. It's just different when there's something really there. And digital effects rarely work. Pirates of the Caribbean 2. That worked. Gollum worked. And then I guess the other ones that work, you don't know. But there's so many times that there is a CG creature and it is distracting and it never feels right. And it takes you out of the film. And what I wind up doing is watching Liam Neeson's eye lines to see where he's looking with Jar Jar. We're like Obi-Wan, like you can tell he's like looking off into the distance. Lord of the Rings, when you know what's going on though, like there's something about when you lock eyes with somebody, there's like you can feel it.
Yeah.
And when Gandalf is pretending to look at Frodo, but one's closer to the camera, you can see it. And I don't know. Once you notice those things, it's hard to forget it, you know?
When I was in film school, I did a lot of script soup work, and I liked being the script supervisor. One of the biggest jobs of the script supervisor is maintaining continuity and eye lines throughout from shot to shot.
That's tough.
And continuity I had a pretty good eye for because there's certain things that you know are going to be problems anytime there's a liquid in a clear glass, a cigarette burning. If it's windy and you got multiple layers of clothes, you know that you're going to have to like keep eyes on that scarf or that cigarette or that beer. But eye lines were super tricky. From establishing shots to reverse angles and conversations, it is tough to get somebody to look at a certain, you're like, just an inch higher. Nope, down. All right, now, can you just stand over there, Tom? Go stand.
When you, and the one, the person supervising eye lines for the Fast and the Furious films or for like Mission Impossible films, they're working overtime. Because Vin Diesel is like contractually obligated to be the same height as The Rock, and they are not. So it is very awkward when you see like Vin Diesel looking down at The Rock. And I'm like, no, like this, it feels off.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise famously has had to like stand on boxes before for some scenes because he's a short guy. Short king. Be a short king.
Yeah. You still make badass movies.
Even if you admitted you were short, I'd still say it's really cool that you hang out of helicopters.
Yeah. You jumped off of a motorcycle off of a cliff.
They were filming the new Mission Impossible movie, and there was like a shot of Tom Cruise, the small airplane is flying upside down, and he's hanging from the wings. I was like, it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is going to cruise.
He's forcing himself to be relevant by doing crazy shit.
I think it's a lot like Adam Sandler. People wonder like why Adam Sandler's movies took a major dip in quality, and it came out. He's like, I just pick movies that take place in places I want a vacation.
And I want my friends to get paid a lot of money.
And that's his thing. And Tom Cruise's thing is like, I'll do the movie, but can I explode?
I like to think of the insurance adjusters having to make an estimate. All right, so Tom Cruise is going to ride a motorcycle off a ramp into a canyon and then parachute into the canyon. We need a $50 million insurance policy. If Tom Cruise gets hurt or dies, the film is insured to be like the potential profits would be paid for by the insurance company. It is an insane calculation.
Yeah, that's balls of steel.
Oh, I can't imagine. That actually did happen because he sprained his ankle doing something, and they actually had to like take a break for 2 weeks. The insurance company had to pay for them to all be not working.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
They used that take in the movie, though.
I despise Tom Cruise in the real world. I think he's one of the most fun movie stars to watch.
He is one of the last few box office guaranteed draws that we have in the industry.
He does not, though.
No,
not anymore.
Top Gun Maverick was insane.
The Mummy.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that.
Bombed.
But that was just a bad idea.
All the way around. 21-year-old Rob Bottin. Guess what else he's done? He portrayed the tallest member of the Cantina Band in Star Wars.
So he's a tall boy.
And he's just, dude, he played jizz music in Star Wars. And he made this creature effects for the thing. He's already in the coolest dudes I know category. He also designed the RoboCop suit.
This dude's talented.
He worked on Seven,
the David Fincher film,
Mission Impossible, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's been working forever too. Excessive workload caused him to be hospitalized for exhaustion, double pneumonia, and a bleeding ulcer.
I was going to bring up when they refrigerated the set with all the humidifiers and misters, like that is a recipe for pneumonia.
Well, and also when you're going out into like 100-degree California weather and you're going back in, it's shocking to your body to have that many temperature changes for long intervals of time.
Yeah.
Carpenter conceived the thing as a single creature, but Bottin suggested it should be constantly changing and able to look like anything, which kind of made John Carpenter's mind explode a little bit. It's like, because originally it's common for, creatures, horror films, you don't want to see the creature. Alien is so effective because the suit is shot in certain ways and you don't see it just like walking around in the film that much. The less you see, the more your imagination does the work.
Yep.
And when John Carpenter heard this from Bottin, he's like, fuck, we got to show it. We have to show all of it. Which, there's no pass. When you're like brightly lit in a room and you have to have all of your creature effects on display, you can't hide anything. Fucking nailed it. It's intense. As part of the thing's design, it was agreed anyone assimilated by it would be a perfect imitation and would not know they were the thing. I have issues with that concept.
Well, we'll get into who was the thing and when were they the thing, I am assuming, at some point here.
I got a list.
I did a little bit of... I've always had my interpretation of the ending and the timeline. I've seen... You know about the dog theory.
What about it?
So the theory is this guy posted it on Reddit, and I could find it if I pulled it up. But essentially, he broke down the timeline about who was infected and when they were infected or assimilated, and it all hinges off of the dog thing. When we first see it, it breaks through the ceiling. He believes half of it escaped up through the ceiling, and half the people believe that the entire thing was roasted there. And his whole theory, which I've known for a little bit now.
Well, either way, there's also that one dog that was like fucking shot with juice. He claws his way out and bites through the fence.
Yeah.
He actually just gets away. So there is a dog with infection on it that got away.
That's true.
So there is a dog out there.
Maybe he thinks half of it escaped through the ceiling, but yeah, no, I don't believe that.
In designing the thing's different forms, Bottin explained the creature had been all over the galaxy. This allowed it to call on different attributes as necessary, such as stomachs that transform into giant mouths and spider legs sprouting from heads. Essentially, it's been out in space dealing with aliens. We can do whatever we want, and it's logical, which I do appreciate. The creature effects used a variety of materials, including mayonnaise, creamed corn, microwaved bubble gum, and KY jelly.
That's gross.
I can see the microwaved bubble gum being integral. The mayonnaise bothers me more than it should.
That means that the things smell real bad.
You smell like KY jelly, dude.
Could you imagine?
It's like a Diddy party in here.
All these sweaty dudes from coming out in the heat back into the refrigerated set.
Exposed mayonnaise, creamed corn.
With just an amalgamation of processed food.
I've never microwaved bubblegum, but I can imagine it has a smell to it, too.
Oh, God.
Maybe like a sweetness, depending on what bubblegum. And so that's a little bit about the making of. We're going to talk about the plot now. So it opens up with the spaceship. Starts off real sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
And the film is, it's sci-fi horror, it's cosmic horror, but apart from that one shot, they don't really, it's very grounded.
Yeah. You see the spaceship like stuck in the ice. But other than that, it's just research facilities in the middle of fucking nowhere, super cold.
So they originally, one of the ideas, which they're very wisely, they don't spell everything out. They don't need to. It's a fucking movie. Let the audience fill in the blanks how they want. The idea was that the spaceship was not being piloted by the thing. The thing was on the spaceship, and the pilot was trying to crash it and kill the thing to make sure it doesn't spread to other parts of the galaxy. You could have flown into the sun, my man. You're pretty close.
Yeah, set that bitch to autopilot.
You went for the, somehow you got the only hospitable planet in our solar system, but I did like that concept that the thing wasn't even like the pilot of the ship. The other dude just fucking floors it into a planet and tries to take it out. And that's hundreds of thousands of years ago too.
Yeah.
which wild.
I like that idea. As the thing being more of a parasitic monster that is attacking the inhabitants of this ship, rather than being like a super intelligent being that has access to vehicular transport.
We don't really get to know what the thing's wants and needs are. It wants to get out.
Yeah.
Apparently, it wants to spread. It's probably started off as like a little sludge and got a hold of one thing, got a hold of another. But I don't know. It's an animal doing its thing, surviving the way it is. I can't be mad at it. It's unfortunate that it's antagonistic.
Yeah. I've always viewed the thing as a parasite without any wants, needs, or desires, except for the sole purpose of attaching to a host and growing.
But it's clever, too, because there is a subterfuge happening where they go into McCready's room and hide, like, the clothing that was ripped apart. So the thing is trying to trick people and is aware that it's playing a game.
And I think it not necessarily is coming from the humans, but it is meant to replicate entirely a being. So you have to, I would have to assume that logical thought and like would be part of its assimilation. It's not going to be able to survive, especially among intelligent creatures, without having this ability. You know, if it did not know how to talk or act, it would be found out very quick, which makes it a very scary predator.
Well, and it assimilates. When it assimilates me, does it get stupid amounts of knowledge about filmmaking and video games?
Yeah, it would. If it assimilated me, instead of going for the blood bags, it would have hit the High Life fridge so fast.
If it becomes Snoop Dogg, is it super chill and like more stoned? When the thing takes over the Ultimate Warrior, are we all fucked?
These are the questions you need to be asking.
I do not want the Ultimate Warrior thing. That's bad. Imagine a rune bear from Elden Ring that got thingified. Yeah, it's just interesting thinking about the wants and the needs and kind of what's happening, because the thing can be separate too. It splits into other things, and they even say like a little piece of blood is all it takes to like have its own ability to like freak out and do things. So I don't think it's a hive mind unless it like kind of has a remelding moment. Yeah, you have to touch tips.
No, I think you're right. I don't think it is so much a hive mind as it is like if part of it splits, you now have two entities.
Does the thing know when something else is a thing?
See, and there's a lot of people that say that it would not be able to tell, and which is why the ending is as ambiguous as it is.
Well, Kurt Russell isn't the thing.
I don't think him or Childs is the thing.
I think Childs is the thing. We'll get there.
Yeah.
In Antarctica, a Norwegian helicopter is pursuing a sled dog and like cussing and shooting at it.
This dude is the worst shot.
And the helicopter pilot
of the Mississippi.
The helicopter pilot had way too much to drink for breakfast. He's fucking flying everywhere. It's one dog. That thing is not running that fast. And you're in a helicopter. Just take it easy.
I like to think, though, because this came up yesterday with Justin and I, but like I thought, like, what if that dude is not the best shot because he's not? And that pilot's not the best pilot because he's not? Because the two best dudes at these two positions are already dead.
They got the geologist and the meteorologist.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know which way is a gun.
Well, I mean, these two characters in the prequel 2011 thing, famously, it's the Norwegian camp. They don't speak English. They actually all speak English except like two dudes. And it's these two dudes, conveniently.
Well, it's because the thing can't speak Norwegian. So when they just started talking in English or whatever alien tongue they had, all the Norwegian guys were like, that's him. That's it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that'd be funny. If the thing hasn't assimilated someone who speaks Spanish and three people can speak Spanish, does the thing not know what the fuck they're talking about? That's a good point.
Yeah.
They fucking land the copter and they're just shooting at the dog, and all the Americans like, yo, stop. The guy's trying to throw like a fucking dynamite drops it in the snow, blows up the helicopter. Amazing. So stupid.
Yep.
But like you said, maybe these are not the pilots that never shot a gun before. They shoot a dude in the leg, and then one of the guys, I forget his name, just shoots him in the head through the window. Badass.
Yeah, and the shot of him breaking the window is so funny too, because he like breaks it, and then it's a solid 5 seconds of him just clearing the glass, trying to get his arm out the window.
Oh yeah.
I always thought he shot him in the back too. No, he shot him in the fucking head, like right through the eye.
Yeah.
Which is pretty gnarly, but I was kind of taken aback yesterday. I don't know why I didn't notice that he was shot in the head.
All the ensemble cast, everyone is so good in this movie. We're going to see them here. So the dog enters a room. The dog enters the camp, and they immediately put it with the other dogs. Well, actually, it gets to wander around first. And there's the shot where the dog goes into a room, and you just see someone's shadow on the wall. To me, it was clearly Norris, but just from like the nature of the collar and the hair.
Norris is the one with like the little bit of an afro, right?
He's the one that becomes the one of the famous, like,
where his head like falls off and is like tonguing across the room with the green neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, though, I know who was in that room. It was a man named Dick Warlock. That's his name.
Dickie Warlock.
Dick Warlock. He is the stunt coordinator for the film. Carpenter used someone that wasn't anybody to kind of help sow confusion. So it's actually Dick Warlock, stunt coordinator for the film, and he played Michael Myers in Halloween 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Dick Warlock. We get to meet our crew and our cast here. I immediately have a soft spot for Palmer. He is the pothead.
Yep.
He has so many good lines. It's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, he's just super chillaxed, like stoned all the time. What's the line where he's like, all right, well, I'll fly you up. He's like, you're not flying anywhere. All right.
All right, then. Okay. I always have an issue when I see things like this, though. I'm like, how much weed did you bring? You guys are casually smoking quite a bit. And to me, to get an ounce there to your government workstation would be tough.
Yeah, weed
an ounce wouldn't last that long.
And weed is super illegal in 1982.
Yeah, I guess Antarctica is a different continent, so I don't know what laws apply on Antarctica, actually.
I always thought about that when they kill the Norwegian guy. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's self-defense.
But he was shooting.
Yeah. But also, like, an American killed a Norwegian on
foreign territory.
Like, this is like the height of the Cold War, too.
Yeah.
And I know we weren't really at war with Norway, but like, they're close enough to Russia to be like, yo, what the fuck is going on in Antarctica?
Russia would just kick the door like, hey, what's up?
What's up? Hey,
you're not involved, dude.
You're hurting my best friend, and Norway's like, we're not friends.
I don't even know you. Fuck you. We meet the American helicopter pilot, R.J. McCready, and Dr. Copper. First McCready's playing chess, and a lot of people say that the way he ends the chess game foreshadows what's going to happen at the end. We can talk about the ending later, but he loses the game of chess and pours scotch on the computer, which it's cool, but that bothers me too, man. You can't play chess anymore.
And you just wasted a glass of J&B. My brother plays a lot of chess. He's very good. And I paused the movie several times so that he could dissect what the board looked like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it looks all the same to me. I mean, I know a little bit about chess, but I'm like, is this actually a checkmate?
One of the most integral scenes in film history in 2001: A Space Odyssey is when HAL 9000 is playing chess against Dr. Poole. And it was Poole. He says he's testing him to see if the humans are capable of handling this intense mission. They're going to outer space. And he says, I don't think you saw that. This to this, this to this, checkmate. And I paused the film and I looked at the board, and Hal is lying. It's not a checkmate. He's seeing if the humans can even win a chess game or see how the chess world works. And that's when he decides, I can't let the humans be involved with this groundbreaking discovery of alien future. So have your brother watch Space Odyssey and break down that chess scene, because it's not widely talked about, but that is like the proof to me that Hal didn't go crazy. He just has the responsibility of the future of our planet, and humans can't even understand the rules of chess.
Yeah. I'll bring it up to him because we studied the board yesterday, and it looks like to me you cannot get checkmate in one move based off of what Kurt Russell did, because Kurt Russell still has his queen to protect either from the rook or the bishop with his next move. He'd have to sacrifice, but his queen is very much still in play, and I, with my very limited knowledge, do not believe that there's a checkmate there.
We'll have to bring local chess expert Nate on at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck this. Stupid.
Yeah.
Yes, So they go to invest the Norwegian base because clearly what the fuck is going on?
Oh, it's just some cabin fever. They go crazy.
Among the charred ruins and frozen corpses, they find the burnt corpse of a malformed humanoid, which they're like, yeah, let's bring it to the station.
Bad idea.
Or good idea. I mean, either way, it would have survived at some point if it was able to refreeze itself. It could survive another 100,000 years. They didn't know that they were potentially saving the human race, but...
Yeah, and I mean, at the same time, if you find a weird, creepy alien, you're not going to not bring the weird, creepy alien. It's the discovery of a lifetime.
Well, they don't know it's an alien yet, but they don't know what it is. It's got heads splitting off. It's got different limbs. It's like Godric the Grafted up in here. This guy, I wouldn't even want to touch that thing.
No.
But they bring the whole thing back to the base.
We found these two melded together heads covered in mayonnaise.
And Wilford Brimley, Blair, does the autopsy. I love him so much.
Dude, this scene cracks me up.
He's got little gloves on, but he's going up to his elbows. He's like, just every 5 seconds he's making some of the best grunts. Oh, God.
This is so gross, guys.
Perfectly normal organs. Oh.
And then he's like, this thing is able to perfectly assimilate any being that it comes into contact with. And I'm like, I know you're a doctor, dude, but how do you know?
Well, they show it, dude. They show the computer program, and it shows one cell going to another cell, and then it goes back to another cell.
That's what I thought that was asteroid.
And then the computer, this is a fucking like 80s computer, also goes, chances of world domination, 27 hours or something like that. I'm like, your computer's doing that?
That's a processing power that you don't have in the 82.
That might be like the funniest computer scene I've ever seen. There is a deleted scene here with MacReady absent-mindedly inflating a blow-up doll, a sex doll, while watching the Norwegian tapes. It was filmed but not used in the film. The doll would later have appeared as a jump scare with Knowles when they go out to the cabin. There was a few more jump scares written into the film. One, like when they were at the base, there was going to be like a body that just like fell out of the roof. John Carpenter said, no, we're not making a Halloween movie. That's not the kind of scares we're going for here, which wisely so.
Yeah.
In my mind. Clark kennels the sled dog. Clark, if you're watching this for the first time or it's been a while, he seems very suspicious to me the whole time. Never the thing.
Yeah, he's super weird.
He just has a suspicious look on his face. And never the thing, though. Mm-hmm. Right now, the dog is the thing. Norris is the thing. Yes. We know Norris is because later it's revealed. He kennels the dog. Soon it metamorphoses and absorbs several of the other station dogs. It goes crazy when its head just splits open. And MacReady runs there. The alarm's going off. And they run over to Child's room. He's sitting in bed. And they're like, Childs, MacReady said get the flamethrower. Get the what?
Just do it now.
Get the what?
That's like at the very bottom of the shit that he thought was going to be said. Because mind you, the fire alarm is going off.
Yeah.
That is what Kurt Russell hits. MacReady hits the fire alarm and he's like, oh shit, there's a fire. And then someone comes in, he's like, we're fighting fire with fire. Get the fire extinguisher.
Get the flamethrower.
You mean the fire extinguisher? Get the flamethrower.
That's what he said. They wait too long to torch it. They do torch it though.
Putting that backpack on it's got to be like at least a 25-second process. And Childs the entire time does not know that there's an alien, so he's just sauntering over there. That
dude just seems like a guy that would wear a flamethrower and not bat an eye. Like, people take conceal and carry Like, seriously, Childs would just have a flamethrower in public.
He's at a Tim Hortons.
Can I get a number one?
Yes, sir. Do you want us to cook that for you? I think I got it.
But Childs used the flame sword to incinerate the creature. Part of the creature does manage to escape, so there is at least a little like part of the dog thing running around, and so Norris still.
It's either the dog that escapes through the wire or part of the thing escaped through the ceiling. And the common belief.
And the body that they brought back, which still has thing powers. They're already in bad shape. Blair autopsies the dog thing. Oh, God.
Yeah, this is gross.
Yeah, he goes, it can perfectly mirror any organism. It's just one cell can do a perfect imitation. You can just tell his wheels are turning in his head already. He's like, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, though, it immediately ramps up to the people that know what's going on. They're like, the fate of the human race is at stake immediately to Blair. And as soon as Mac grasps that too, he's like, he's ready to do anything.
Yeah.
A pair of drawers are found in the garbage. With deductive reasoning, we can figure out who these drawers most likely belong to. It seems these belong to Palmer, because we know Palmer is a thing later. Throughout the movie, 5 characters are shown wearing matching long johns.
Yep.
Palmer, Copper, McCready, Knowles, and Blair. We know Knowles wasn't a thing at the test later on. Blair at this point wasn't, because, I mean, he could have been, but I don't think he was. McCready not, Copper not, it's Palmer. We know Palmer's a thing later. So those are his drawers. And at this point, whenever Palmer's not on screen, which is a few scenes, he is out there fucking things up, planting evidence out in McCready's thing. He's up to no good in the background.
He's sabotaging and instilling paranoia amongst all of his buddies.
Data recovered from the Norwegian base leads the Americans to a large excavation site containing a partially buried alien spacecraft, which Norris estimates has been buried for over 100,000 years, and a smaller human-sized dig site, the big piece of ice. So the thing got out of the spaceship and went running, and it froze and fell there 100,000 years ago. Blair, at this point, grows paranoid after running that computer simulation, indicating it would assimilate all life on Earth. The group implements controls to reduce the risk of assimilation, and Blair sabotages all of the vehicles, kills all the remaining sled dogs, destroys the radio to prevent escape. One of the best scenes of a man with an axe in cinema history. They're trying to turn into us!
He just smashes the shit.
He's throwing chairs at people. They're like, dude, calm down. I'll calm down.
And when they talk to him later, and McCready's talking to him through the little hole in the door when they put him in timeout, there's just casually a noose hanging behind him. And he's like, I was not good earlier. I'm fine now. If I was upset earlier, I'm fine.
I want to come back inside.
Let me back inside.
And he's a thing at that point.
Yeah, so he's pleading. And Mac doesn't trust anybody at this point. So, of course, he's not going to let him out.
No, and in Mac's mind, he's like, well, at least he is locked up. Although the thing could probably break through a fucking wall pretty quick if he was the thing. Actually, it's worse to have him isolated.
Well, when they torch Palmer, he literally just runs through the wall. He just turns around and...
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
He Kool-Aid Mans his way right out into the freezing temperatures.
The remains of the malformed humanoid begins to assimilate in isolated Bennings. Windows interrupts the process, and the Bennings thing is outside. They find him outside kneeling on the ground, and they come around and they reveal that his arms are like these they're thingified.
Yep.
And he looks up and he just lets out that horrifying scream.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I can't do it.
It's tough to replicate.
Chilling. And that's when they're all like, this is fucked.
Yep. And this was, the thing is very near and dear to my heart because it kind of introduced me to that spectral horror. What's the Lovecraftian cosmic horror? Yeah. That scene always stuck with me too. Cause he just looks like he's caught red-handed.
And that's the scream of, I'm going to fuck you up. Y'all need to be afraid.
Yeah.
the scream is designed, I think, to terrify them, and then Mac kicks over the oil drum and just fucking torches the dude. And this is kind of when they also imprisoned Blair in the tool shed, and Palmer is absent from that scene. So Palmer's up to something at that point. What Palmer does off screen infects Blair at some point, plants false evidence in McCready's locker. Copper suggests testing for infection by comparing the crew's blood against uncontaminated blood held in storage. But after learning the blood stores have been destroyed, the men lose faith in Gary's leadership. Childs goes, I could do it. And everyone's like, no.
No, not you.
Mr. Flamethrower here. You could do it, Mac. Everyone's just like, yep. If Kurt Russell's there, the only one that could even argue against him is Harrison Ford. And then it's a debate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know anyone else in the world. Samuel L. Jackson.
I would trust him.
That's an unstoppable force and a movable wall if I ever saw one.
I think Kurt Russell is like the cream of the crop here.
I trust him.
I mean, I still write him fan mail asking what choices I should make in life, and he's yet to write back to me, but I trust him.
I'm thinking of a new career, Kurt. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I call him.
I don't fucking know. Just do it. I can't do it, Kurt Russell. No one can.
I call him Curdy.
Curdy? That's horrible. So McCready, Windows, and Knowles find Fuchs's burnt corpse and surmise he committed suicide to avoid assimilation. They don't show what happens to Fuchs. They show him getting followed by something, and they see his body outside, and it's not thingified. So they think he must have known something was happening. He killed himself out there. Windows returns to base while McCready and Knowles go investigate McCready's shack because the light's on. Palmer's luring him out there. And Knowles comes back by himself. He says, I cut the line. Mac, I found this in Mac's shed, and he surmises he's the Thing, which is exactly what the Thing wanted him to do. He cuts Mac loose, and they're like, all right, well, there's no way he's coming back. All of a sudden, the door's like, let me the fuck in.
Like, you crazy, McCready.
And he goes, breaks into a different room, gets a stick of dynamite, and they're trying to like pin him down. He's like, nope, I'll do it. Yeah. And you know he will. He's ready to blow up the whole base.
Yeah. That scene gives me so much fucking anxiety. And I know it doesn't blow up. I know this is not the end of the movie, but he's holding that flare so close to the dynamite the entire time.
And he doesn't care. He's ready to blow up.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
And this is when tensions are destroyed. Nobody is calm the rest of the film. Like, everyone suspects everybody else. We have to do the blood test. McCready's in charge again. And he immediately puts the three people he suspects, Childs, was it Palmer. And
I always forget
Gary. I think it was not Gary.
The guy with the handgun.
Yep.
I always forget his name.
They all get tied to the couch, and they find some blood because I forget whose blood they use. They have uncontaminated blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that they took the blood from what is his name, Connor, and the two dead guys that they have on the table there, and they test it first with the hot wire, and they're like, "See, Connor wasn't the Thing. You're a murderer."
But they also, at this point, don't know if it even works.
Yeah, because I remember watching this for the first time, and like when the blood sizzled, I was like, "Oh, he's in trouble." But it turns out that's what you want.
Yeah. The theory is, if just one cell of this thing can defend itself, that means if we put like a piece of hot copper on it, it will defend itself. It's a theory. They don't know if it'll do anything yet. And they have what they know is uncontaminated blood, so they just are doing it to everybody. And Mac is not one of the things. He's happy about that. At one point, Clark, this is before Mac has been tested, he suspects Mac is bad. He makes a move to try and like attack Mac and get the gun away.
Yeah,
Mac fucking shoots the guy.
Yeah, he grabs a scalpel very stealthily, and they do kind of film it in a way where like you don't really know who grabbed the scalpel because you see like a close up of it, and you kind of see a hand move, and then it's not until like the point of view from the hip looking up at Mac you see the scalpel in the hand, so you can kind of surmise where it's at now. But even those little tiny steps of like trying to misdirect the audience into not knowing what's going on, there's paranoia amongst these guys, but we're also paranoid at this point because you don't know who to trust. And I really appreciate that level of filmmaking.
Oh, and we're actually jumping the gun a little bit here too. Before they do the blood test, Copper attempts to defibrillate Norris.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because it's like I think he's having like a heart attack and he collapses. And
He's not breathing.
They put him on the table, which is actually a really good move because things were kind of getting a little more organized into things like I got to cause some mayhem. The defibrillator is going down to the body. The fucking stomach opens up and bites the arms off. Film with an actual dude who was missing his arms.
Oh, really?
Yep, they put his arms in and they could pull off the fake arms then.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. If you want to be traumatized by the film E.T., whenever E.T.'s walking around, it's actually a child who doesn't have any legs that's kind of like wobbling back and forth in the costume. Kid had fun. It was great for the kid, but it is different watching it when you know that. The head of Norris detaches, slops off the back, grows legs, and walks away. And that's when Palmer's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I think this is the grossest part of the movie.
One of my favorite parts for sure.
When the green gooey bubblegum neck happens.
The green mayonnaise.
I was like, ooh, that's gross.
Oh, knowing it's mayonnaise and KY jelly and bubblegum, that doesn't detract. That actually makes me more grossed out.
Yeah. I despise mayonnaise.
It's okay sometimes. Call it aioli, you'll feel better.
I do. I actually do.
Botine accomplished this scene by recruiting a double amputee and fitting him with prosthetic arms filled with wax bones, rubber veins, and jello.
This dude is
he's just out there. He's just making it up. Too.
Yeah.
Like, what's in the fridge?
He's like MacGyver of food-based prosthetics.
I can get you some jello arms. This today by 4:00. McCready hypothesizes that the Norris thing demonstrated that every part of the thing is an individual life form by the head going away with its own instinct. That's why they are going to do the test. Everyone passes the test except Palmer, whose blood recoils from the heat, shoots up like an arm really quick.
The only jump scare.
Yeah. Exposed, the Palmer thing transforms, breaks free of its bonds, and infects Windows, forcing McCready to incinerate them both. It's unfortunate the flamethrower just decides not to work.
Yeah, for a very long time.
I don't know why.
And Windows is just frozen in fear with the other flamethrower. And it takes like a solid minute before someone's like, Windows, torch it.
Yeah.
Come on.
And Windows dies because of his hesitation.
Yeah.
Great scene. And I think Gary's got a famous line as well on the couch. He's like, I appreciate you gentlemen have been through a lot tonight. But when you have a moment, I'd like to not spend the rest of this night tied to this fucking couch. Yeah. It's just fucking so good. Every line delivery in this film has me cracking up.
Dude, and this is a line that's delivered with such frustration because, like, he has a handgun, so people are like, if he's the thing and he has the gun, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So, like, immediately his leadership is called into question, and he's a good enough leader to be like, maybe a more level head. Maybe you guys would prefer somebody else's leadership. So this is nice vindication for him to be like, I fucking told you so, assholes.
Yeah, untie me, motherfuckers, please. They then upon their Childs is left on guard while the others go to test Blair, but they find that Blair has escaped and has been using vehicle components to assemble a small flying saucer. I don't know if it's going to fly. I'm going to be honest, there's probably not a lot of things in the sheds.
Yeah, you're telling me you made space travel from spare parts from a snowmobile?
In my mind, they're probably just trying to maybe make a ship that could get to another land.
Yeah, I don't think this is not interplanetary means of travel here. This is like as good as like a Zeppelin.
But they're going to test Blair, and Childs is left back at the base. Childs goes missing.
This is where everybody's thoughts on the ending start to, because we know that up until this point, Childs was not infected because he's passed by the blood test.
Upon their return, he's missing. The power generator is destroyed. Leaving the men without heat, McCready speculates that with no escape left, the thing intends to return to hibernation until a rescue team arrives. So they were doing good. They had it down to potentially just Blair being a thing.
Yeah.
They were doing pretty good, but Blair has gotten out, and yeah, they think that it's going to return to hibernation. McCready, Gary, and Knowles agree that the thing cannot be allowed to escape, and they set explosives to destroy the station, but the Blair thing kills Gary, and then Knowles disappears. We don't see Knowles die at all. There was a deleted scene where he's scripted to appear in the finale as a partly assimilated mass of tentacles, but in the film, he simply disappears. The Blair thing transforms into an enormous creature, breaks the detonator, but McCready triggers the explosives with a stick of dynamite, destroying the station.
The way that he assimilates Gary, too, is always super scary because he just Gary's about to yell and he covers his mouth, but then you see that his fingers are just in his skin.
Ugh.
And then when he's pulling Gary away, it's like his arm has just melded to Gary's entire face as an extension of his arm now. Ugh.
It's wild. The prequel film did shoot everything practically, and the studio came in and said it didn't like the way it looked and they had to do it all digitally. I would love to see the prequel version where it was all practical effects. It could have been cool because there is one scene where there's a non-thing and a thing, and the heads start melding together, and the person's conscious and screaming the whole time. I love it. I love that. That's a great concept. The Blair thing is blown up. Stop motion expert Randall William Cook developed a sequence for the end of the film where is confronted by the gigantic Blair thing. Cook created a miniature model of the set and filmed wide-angle shots of the monster to stop motion. Carpenter was not convinced by the stop motion miniature and only briefly uses some of the shots. I think that's wise.
Yeah.
Stop motion could have taken me out of the film. It took 50 people to operate the actual Blair thing puppet that they did use on set.
Damn, that's huge.
So, while McCready sits by the burning remnants, he's just sitting there drinking scotch. Childs returns, claiming he got lost in the storm while pursuing Blair. Exhausted and slowly freezing to death, they acknowledge the futility of their distrust and share a bottle of Scotch whiskey.
Have you heard the gasoline theory?
McCready, you explain the theory.
The gasoline theory, you see when they're blowing up the station that they're using Molotov cocktails, and it is surmised that he still has one. And when Childs comes up, he takes the rag out of it and hands the bottle of gasoline to Childs, who would not know what gasoline is from whiskey. So when he sees Childs drink it, he knows that Childs is the thing. And in the script, apparently, it is written that he has a flamethrower underneath his blanket.
The ending, we don't get to see.
No, and I like it this way because it's ambiguous and you get to just kind of make up whatever you believe.
Is Childs a thing or not?
I think no.
Some fans have claimed that the fact his breath is barely visible is proof that there is proof, but there's also a debunked theory that Mask gives him gasoline in the JB Scotch. There's no concrete evidence of either, but Carpenter does appear to signpost the character's demise in one specific way. It likely occurs just ahead of the final showdown when Childs has been left to guard the only non-barricaded entrance to the compound. Childs is only shown wearing a royal blue colored jacket, while an identical jacket can be seen hanging behind him in the vestibule. Moments later, Knowles, who is up at the tool shed with McCready and Gary, spots what appears to be Childs exiting the main compound wearing the same jacket but lighter colored pants. At this point, they discover Blair thinks shack is empty and he's been building a flying saucer. The action then switches back to the now empty vestibule with Carpenter highlighting the close proximity of the generator. The crucial detail, however, can be spotted in the background. The second blue jacket is now missing. Moments later, and with the Childs thing out in the open, the power cuts out. The most likely scenario is that the Blair thing found a way into the main compound, sneaked up on Childs from the generator room, and assimilated him before covering his tracks, donning the new coat, and making an escape outside.
Because we know it tears through your clothes.
Yes.
Hence the dirty long johns.
Yes. Who's putting the dirty drawers in the kitchen?
Yeah, of all places.
Nasty.
That's a health code violation right there.
That's a violation. While McCready, while Carpenter filmed multiple endings for The Thing, including a happier ending because editor Todd Ramsey thought that the bleak, nihilistic conclusion would not test well with audiences. In the alternate take, MacReady is rescued and given a blood test that proves he is not infected. That this wasn't filmed, I don't believe, but this was a written ending. Carpenter said that would have been cheesy.
Yeah, I hate that.
It was finally decided to create an entirely new scene which omitted the suspicion of Childs being infected by removing him completely, leaving MacReady alone. This tested only slightly better with audiences than the original.
I still don't like that.
And the production team agreed to the studio's request to use it. It was sent to go to print for theaters when the producers, Carpenter, and executive producer Helena Hacker decided that the film was better left with ambiguity instead of nothing at all. Carpenter gave his approval to restore the ambiguous ending, but a scream was inserted over the outpost explosion to posit the monster's death. Universal executive Sidney Sheinberg disliked the ending's nihilism, and according to Carpenter, said, "Think about how the audience will react if we see the thing die with a giant orchestra playing." Carpenter later noted that both the original ending and the ending without Childs tested poorly with audiences, which he interpreted as the film simply not being heroic enough. Alternatively, Flamethrower, Mac, all these things, the ending, it feels abrupt, but I'd rather have a little bit of mystery. In a film about mistrust, I'd rather it be a little perplexing.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've always believed that makes a good movie is if it evokes the emotion that the genre is supposed to evoke from you. If it's a comedy and you're belly laughing, that's a good movie. If it's a horror movie and you feel tense or anxiety, that's a good movie.
If you're so tense, you belly laugh, that's a great movie.
Yes. And so to have all these characters experiencing this distrust and paranoia throughout the entire thing, and we're constantly on the edge of our seats in suspense on who's next and who has been the thing, we don't know who to believe. Even after the blood test thing, things get muddy, people disappear, you don't see where they go. There's distrust, and to have the audience kind of waited in ambiguity at the end of the movie, not knowing who was the thing or if it was a happy ending, is the correct move here.
Yeah.
Because you just further compound all of the feelings that the film has been giving you the entire time with a slam dunk of an ending.
So good.
I think it's kind of poetic to have both of them not be the thing. And to because it's the two guys that kind of distrust each other the most throughout the entire film. Childs and Mac.
It's not even mistrust. It's like, to me, it's respect. They both know each other is a hot shit. And I think MacReady probably immediately knows, like, Childs is the only one that scares me here. And
Yeah.
Childs is like, Mac's the only motherfucker that could take me. They both just, like, they immediately, like, lock eyes and they're like, you're the guy.
Yeah. So to have them...
It's like when another bearded hipster fuck walks into a bar, I'm like, shit.
Now I got to fight a
Now
guy.
I gotta fight a guy.
That's why I like the ending, because you have those two guys finally sharing a drink because they've lost at this point. Neither one of them is going to trust the other one, but they do share a bottle, which means they don't give a fuck. Because if that's all it takes to assimilate you is a tiny little drop of saliva or blood or something, then they kind of gave into it. Or maybe it's a moment where they finally trust each other and they're like, we're both going to die of hypothermia, so fuck it.
But if it's a thing, it can survive in the cold.
Yeah.
So to me, if I'm Mac, there's only one option.
And that's torch everybody.
It's kill both of us. Or kill Childs. There's no way to know about Childs unless they do a blood test out there, which they're both fucking weak from the cold at that point. Childs is a thing, in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's good about this movie is there's no definitive answer. Apparently the video game is canon, and apparently it is.
John Carpenter is a funny man.
He's a funny guy.
I listened to an interview with him from not long ago, and someone asked him, what are your thoughts on your films that have gotten sequels and remakes and prequels? He's like, I love it. They're great. They give me a check. He doesn't give a fuck. He did speak very warmly about David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy because he's like, they asked me to come on board and I did the music. They're his films, great filmmaker, but I did the music. And they gave me a big check. Dude, he's super pragmatic about it. He's like, I don't fucking care. I made my movie and it's not going to tarnish my film's legacy by there being a prequel. Everyone's going to forget about the prequel and nothing could change how great the thing is.
Yeah. And on the off chance that the sequel or prequel or video game on your established creative project is good, it just further compounds your legacy and you get a big check.
I'd still love to play the Reservoir Dogs video game.
I forget that exists.
It's supposed to be really bad. The response to the public pre-screenings of The Thing resulted in the studio changing the somber black and white advertising approved by the producers to a color image of a person with a glowing face. That famous image of like a person wearing like the underwater diving helmet with like light shining out of it,
yeah,
which is never anywhere in the film. That was done because pre-screenings weren't hot enough on it. The tagline was also changed from "Man is the warmest place to hide," which is awesome. I think that is a fucking weird, terrifying. If a movie called The Thing, you don't see anything and it says "Man is the warmest place to hide."
That's creepy.
I'm in.
Yeah, you've scared me from a sentence, and that's tough to do.
And that was written by Stephen Frankfurt, who also wrote the Alien tagline, "In space, no one can hear you scream."
That dude is just a walking one-liner nightmare machine.
He just smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Got it." Hold my beer. But it was changed to "The Ultimate in Alien Terror," trying to capitalize on the success of Alien.
Yeah.
Lame. Carpenter attempted to make a last-minute change of the film's title to "Who Goes There" instead of "The Thing" to try and convince audiences to come. It was turned down, though. So, June 11th, E.T. is released. The warmest, happiest alien film you'll ever see.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, The Thing is released. The exact same day as Blade Runner.
No shit.
Isn't that fucking one day? One day in cinema.
They were eating good. There was some good movies coming out.
Ended its run earning a total of $19.6 million against its $15 million budget. Wasn't a bomb. It did not do well, though.
Yeah.
Barely made its money.
At least it was profitable.
Well, reviews were negative. It was called the quintessential moron movie of the 80s, an instant junk.
Oh, come on.
I love it when reviewers have to come back a year later and be like, I was wrong. I was really wrong.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot.
I used to, when I was in film school, I used to be something of a film critic. I would watch a movie and then I'd write big, long papers on why I disagreed with this, that, or the other, or why I think this movie is the second coming of Jesus. Yeah. And I realized that is one of the most douchebaggy things that I personally can do. My opinion does not fucking matter. I just watch movies now to like them.
Your opinion matters.
Yeah, but at the same time,
But we're also not making movies, which is really cool to do.
Yes, and I also think that, yes, there's criticism, criticism has its place in creative media, but at the end of the day, your opinion's your opinion, and if this dude doesn't like the movie, you should at least watch the movie and give it your shot. Don't listen to what other people say and just be like, well, so-and-so didn't like it. There's a few people that say, I like this movie, I dislike this movie, and normally, you with a 95% success rate, you and I like and dislike pretty much the same movies.
Yeah, and there's this weird thing that happens when a movie gets insanely hyped, and when it's not anything to me, it's really deflating and aggravating. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, am I missing something here? And that's what happened with Longlegs. Same. I wanted to walk out, and even the people I heard talking after the movie, people were like, yeah, it was pretty good, right? Everyone was trying to convince themselves they liked it. To me, that movie was just such a major miss. And I don't know. I'm sitting there just questioning other people around me, or if I'm missing something. Turns out the movie just sucks.
Yeah. There's a popular, well, it's not popular. There's an Oliver Stone movie that I'm blanking on the title, that I own on Blu-ray, that I love with all my heart. Yeah. It is a ridiculous movie about two best friends who share a girlfriend and take on the Mexican cartel. It's got Salma Hayek in it.
Oliver Stone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's got
You had me at Salma Hayek.
It's got what's his face who's playing Craven, and he was in
Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, so it's new.
And Taylor Kish. No, this is 10, 15 years old at this point.
Okay.
I'm going to Google it. But that movie, the ending is terrible. There's a part where you think the movie's over and you're like, that was really good. And then the ending happens, and you're like, you just fucked the whole thing up.
Yeah.
But critics hate that movie, and I still love it.
Yeah.
I just turn it off about 10 minutes before it ends.
There's a lot of movies like that where I'm like, I don't need to explain myself. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is one of the greatest movies ever made. I don't know, that's not a hot take, but I'm very convinced on that one. Reviews were negative, but Cinefantastique wrote, "The Thing may be the most unloved monster in movie history, but it's also the most incredible display of special effects makeup in at least a decade." Director of Thing from Another World, the Howard Hawks film, said, "If you want blood, go to the slaughterhouse. All in all, it's a terrific commercial for J&B Scotch." And you know what? It is, because I really wanted to get some J&B Scotch after that.
It's called Savages,
Okay.
starring Benicio del Toro, Salma Hayek, John Travolta, Taylor Kish, and our boy with 3 names that I already forgot.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Thank you.
A made-for-TV version of The Thing exists. Sidney Sheinberg edited a version of the film for television network broadcast, which added narration and a different ending, where the Thing imitates a dog and escapes the ruined camp. You changed the fucking ending.
Wait, she made a totally different television movie, or did she edit this to be broadcasted on cable?
It was edited for TV. They added narration to the film, and then they added an ending where the dog's running away from the camp.
Because in the 80s, you can't show any of the things on TV.
You can show the Thing, but you can't show it killing. There's nothing wrong with showing like a head screaming.
I mean, it's gross though.
In a good way. Carpenter disowned this version and theorized that Sheinberg had been mad at him for not taking his creative ideas on board for the theatrical cut. Post The Thing, after the financial failure of Big Trouble in Little China, Carpenter struggled to get films financed. He immediately lost his job of directing Firestarter and was in the middle of a multiple film contract at Universal at the time, who paid him to leave.
Oh, God.
Yes.
And Big Trouble is also a great movie.
Yeah, I love that film. He made more movies, and I haven't seen all of them. I know he has what he calls the Apocalypse trilogy, all inspired by the works of Lovecraft, Prince of Darkness in 1987 and Mouth of Madness in 1994. Yeah, he calls it his Apocalypse trilogy, based around cosmic horror, entities unknown to man that are threats to both human life and the sense of self. He has composed a video game soundtrack for a game called Sentinel Returns for the PC and PlayStation 1. Most recent film is The Ward in 2010, which was poorly received. During Summer Game Fest in June 2023, it was announced John Carpenter was collaborating with Focus Entertainment and Saber Interactive on the zombie first-person shooter video game John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. The game is set to release this year on PS5, Xbox, and Windows. We had mentioned the video game, 2002. Released for Windows, PS2, and Xbox to generally favorable reviews. The game's plot follows a team of U.S. soldiers investigating the aftermath of the film's events. McCready is in the game. It is a remaster happening right now. The trailer was just posted on our Discord.
Damn.
And they're really bending over backwards to make it look like it'll be a good game. I don't know if it has aged well, and I'm always apprehensive to sequels done in video game form.
Yeah, it's like the same. It goes both ways, though. When they start making movies based off video games, it's very rarely done well. Yep.
Sequel comic. Dark Horse Comics published 4 comic book sequels starring McCready beginning in December 1991, with the 2-part The Thing from Another World by Chuck Farrer, which is set 24 hours after the film, was reported to have pitched his comic tale to Universal as a sequel in the early 1990s, which would follow those comics. 1999, Carpenter said no serious discussions had taken place for a sequel, but if it did happen, he would be interested in Farrer's adaptation, calling that story a worthy sequel to the film. So if you want more, the comics are the way to go.
That's cool. I still like the little bottle. It's almost like a bottle episode. You know, everything is so well packaged in this, and I like the way that I really enjoy the way that the film ends. I don't really want to see Mac go on after that. I'm totally fine with him freezing to death or going out in a blaze of glory or possibly being assimilated. I don't know.
When you stick the landing, don't come back.
Yeah.
If you already got it, just leave.
Absolutely.
But then the studio's like, Money.
You can do that again, right?
Can you do it one more time? We don't care. We're doing it.
We bought so much mayonnaise. We want you to do it again.
Yeah, we got a lot of KY jelly. Diddy got arrested. We were planning for way more of this to go.
Now we have enough KY jelly to make at least 11 more Thing movies.
The new Thing movie was made completely with baby oil. Canceled sequel in 2005, the Sci-Fi Channel planned a 4-hour miniseries sequel produced by Frank Darabont, beloved filmmaker,
Yeah.
and written by David Leslie Jordan McGoldrick. The story followed a Russian team who recovered the corpses of MacReady and Childs, as well as remnants of the Thing. The story moves forward 23 years, where the Thing escapes in New Mexico and follows the attempts at containment. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean,
I like the change of scenery. Like, the Thing in the desert is exciting.
Yeah. I would watch that.
I'd be curious. It never proceeded. Universal opted to continue with a feature film. Instead, in 2011, we already briefly talked about it. The film is not as bad as people say it is, but
okay.
it's also nothing close to the Thing.
It gives me like super like high school vibes. You know, movies always look a certain way. I think we're kind of losing that a little bit, but like when I watched like a 70s or an 80s movie growing up, it felt like the 70s or the 80s. And same with 90s movies. All the way up until like when I was in high school, there's like, I don't know, the clothes people wear, the words they use, like pop culture is still alive and well in all these movies. And it makes me feel a little nostalgic sometimes. And when I rewatched the 2011-2010 prequel to The Thing like a year ago, I just remember thinking, this is a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me of high school.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed my time with it. I mean, Tormund Giantsbane, you sold me. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I'm there.
Yeah.
I like Joel Edgerton. I didn't need Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber 2. Dumb and Dumber.
But it's a fine movie. I mean,
It's fine enough.
nice popcorn flick.
The although released years apart and unrelated in terms of plot, characters, crew, or production, Carpenter considers The Thing to be the first installment of his Apocalypse trilogy. If you want more Carpenter cosmic horror, check out The Prince of Darkness and The Mouth of Madness. We're going to rank a film.
All right.
Let's do it, Tyler. Army of Darkness or The Thing?
Ooh, they starting off hard. The Thing.
The Thing. Avengers Infinity War or The Thing?
The Thing.
Django Unchained or The Thing? The Thing.
I think I like Django more. I love Django. It's my favorite Tarantino movie. No, Inglourious Basterds is. I'm gonna go Django.
Okay. We're going to rock, paper, scissors for it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 on shoot. Say what you got.
We have to do it though, otherwise it
Okay.
breaks my brain.
1, 2, 3 scissors. 1, 2, 3
scissors.
Fuck. Yes. Hateful Eight or The Thing?
The Thing.
I love The Hateful Eight. It's probably my favorite Tarantino film.
It's grown on me a lot.
I'm still going The Thing. No Country for Old Men or The Thing? That's tougher.
That's really hard.
I'm going The Thing though. At some point,
Yeah.
it's not like those films are both 10 out of 10s to me. The idea of The Thing, Outpost, Antarctica, cosmic horror,
Yeah, better.
the concept just, I live on it.
Yep, I agree with you.
Inglourious Bastards or The Thing?
Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Okay, so this puts it at number 3 on our list. Number 1 is The Shining. Number 2, Inglourious Bastards. And for those paying attention at home, number 49, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. Yes, love The Thing. Love, love, love it.
Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, what can I say that I already haven't said? It's so damn good.
It's perfect. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you want access to these episodes well in advance, if this is on our main feed, this has been available to our Patreon supporters for probably about at least half a year. If you want access to all of the new episodes early, check out patreon.com/hairofthedogcast. Special thanks to executive producers Ryan Christianick, Kipper, Brian Ward, Jordan Hoff, Phil Wright, Phil Just Phil, Kelly Gutowski, Bryant Ross, Justin Melly, and Imagine Wagon 69420. We appreciate all of your support, and we're on all the social medias. Check us out.
Yep. Also, a little shout out to Floyd again for hyping up our podcast at the bar last night. I just heard him randomly talking to somebody who I did not know, and he's like, you should check out this podcast. He's out there doing the Lord's work.
Fuck yeah. We appreciate you, Floyd. But if you're not a Patreon supporter, it doesn't matter.
Yep. I'm going to get him one of these days.
You can't even hear this, Floyd. Get fucked, bro. Unless you're listening, then thank you. All right. We'll see you next time.